Good afternoon, everyone. We are grateful to have you here with us. We are here today to present information around how to navigate layoffs. So we hate that we have to be here, and we want to make sure that you have all the information you need going forward if these layoffs do come through and happen. So the focus of today is to make sure all your questions get answered. We are recording this and we will send it out to leadership at ODOT after the fact so they can distribute it to y'all. We will have it uploaded to my organization's YouTube channel and we'll get that link sent out after the fact. So it'll be a great reference for you after the fact. But today, for those of you here, please know we're here for you and we want to answer all your questions. So please use the chat icon. Please use the little raise your hand as well. You can ask in the middle of a presentation. You can wait till the end. There's a way to direct message presenters as well. So however you're comfortable. But we just encourage you to please go ahead and ask because if it's your question, it's probably someone else's question as well. So my name is Teal Dunbar, she, her pronouns. I work for Labor's Community Service Agency, and we work in tandem with work systems to provide layoff information sessions like this. So today we will have presenters from unemployment insurance. We will have presenters from Oregon Health Insurance Marketplace, from WorkSource, and from the Trade Act. We also will have at the very end breakout rooms where you can go into your region, depending on what county you live in, and get information specific to your region from local WorkSource liaisons. So that'll be at the very end. We also want to welcome our four workforce development boards, the liaisons from them that are here. So we've got today Clackamas Workforce Partnership, we've got Lane Workforce Partnership, we've got Northwest Oregon Works, and we've got Work Systems. So if any of the leadership wants to come on and say hello and introduce yourselves, now would be a great time to do that before we get going with the presentation. So I see Amy's hand raised. We'll go ahead and start with Amy.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Teal. Just wanted to introduce myself so anyone in the room who is connected to Clackamas County has, a face with a name, if you will. My name is Amy Oakley. I'm with Clackamas Workforce Partnership, and I oversee our rapid response program. However, my colleagues who are also here do the actual work in the liaison type rapid response coordination. So that would be Claire Calhoun. Claire, if you want to wave. And then Stuart Riley is also here. He's at our WorkSource Center. So both of them will help support you in Clackamas County.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy. Do anybody from the other workforce boards want to come up and say hello?
Hi, Teal. I'll go next. I'm Cindy Perry with Lane Workforce Partnership, and my colleague Ryan Kanowski is on. Ryan, if you could give a wave. We are in the Eugene area serving Lane County. So I'm happy to meet you guys.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you. There's Ryan's wave. Hello. What about now, Northwest Oregon? Do we have
Yeah,
anyone wanting to? Okay, come on up.
I'll go. Hi, I'm Angeline Pepper, and I am the Northwest Area Manager for WorkSource and OED, Oregon Employment Department. I cover the area of Clatsop, Columbia, Tillamook, Lincoln, and Benton counties. So if any one of you are in the areas I mentioned, I'm happy to talk to you after this at the breakout rooms. And I have my training partner as well in here, Diana Nish, if you want to just come on and say hello.
Hi, everyone. Sorry we're meeting this way, but we look forward to helping you in any way we can.
Thank you both. And then Teal and my colleague Shamra, we are here with Work Systems today. So that is the Workforce Development Board serving Multnomah and Washington counties. So we will also have a breakout room that Maria from WorkSource Gresham will be in to answer any questions for that region. So thank you, everyone. We appreciate everyone bearing with us as we kind of let you know who we are. So I think with that being said, we've mentioned we're recording. We've mentioned using the chat or raising your hand icon. Please stay muted until you're actively ready to ask a question, just for the background noise of the recording. And with that, we will go ahead and bring up Savani from Unemployment Insurance. And Savani, we've got your presentation ready to go. So just please let us know next slide and we'll take care of it.
Hi, my name is Savani. I'm a lead worker of the Oregon Employment Department in the claims section. So, Till, is that possible that I can share my own screen myself? Or it's not possible?
Well, we've got everything queued up. So if there's anything additional, we could definitely let you share in that moment. I know sometimes you have an L code slide that you like to have. But this is the slideshow we were given to run for today because it's kind of
Okay.
it's been formatted for this group of workers.
Okay, no matter. That's fine. Okay, so hi everyone. So today I will go through with like the first of all the basic information according to our presentations regarding about the unemployment insurance claim, and then I will explain you guys how to create the Francis account, how to be ready to file a claim, because that's the most important part in here. So the first thing, the unemployment insurance benefit. So I'll explain you how do you get qualified. So you have earned enough income via wages from employers over an 18 months period. That's called the base year period. And you are not working through no fault of your own. If the separation from work is other than a lack of work, an investigation is completed to determine the eligibility, and that we call for that for the adjudication. So that means like if you have a separation issue with your employer, such as like voluntary quit, discharge, at that point your benefit will hold up until the adjudicator will review the file and make the decision that whether you're eligible for the benefits or not. And also the other criteria is that you must be able to work, available for full-time work, and actively seeking work each week you claim the benefit. Next slide, please, Till. Thank you. So how do we calculate your weekly benefit amount? So we have like a setup method, like how do we calculate it? So your weekly benefit amount is calculated based on 1.25% of the wages you earned in your base period established at the time you file a claim. The base period is the last 5 completed quarters, and the weekly benefit amount is determined from the wages reported in the first 4 of the last 5 completed quarters. So as an example, that if you file a claim effective from August 1st, so we are going to use as your base year going to be 2024 second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, and 2025 first quarter. Those are the earnings that we are going to use to calculate your weekly benefit amounts. So the quarter will change like every quarter change. So our quarters like first quarter will be January, February, March, second quarter, April, May, June, third quarter, July, August, September, and the fourth quarter, October, November, December. Anyone has questions? Sorry, I had. Okay, good. Thank you. So, and also you will receive a potential wage and benefit report after you file your initial
Don't be joking about it, though.
claim.
We know, I mean, there's no pain.
Hey, Michelle. Michelle, can you mute, please? Are you able to? Thank you. Sorry about that, Savani. Go ahead.
That's okay. So you will receive a potential wage and benefit report after you file your initial claim. So if wages are missing or if you have any questions, please contact the unemployment office for assistance. So currently Oregon minimum weekly benefit amount is going to be $204 before taxes, and the maximum benefit amount going to be $872 before taxes. And here we share the link that how can you calculate your weekly benefit amount by your own if you know your earnings for each quarter. So if you want to file an unemployment claim, first of all that you have to have the Francis account. So you have to go francis.oregon.gov website, and then you have to create a Francis online account. So at this point, I wanted to add something, because like if you, before you create the Francis online account, make sure that if you already had a claim with us prior, please make sure we have your updated mailing address, because when you create the when you try to create the Francis account, you should have to request the Francis access letter ID from us. So if we do not have your updated mailing address, your Francis access letter ID will mail to your address that we have, and that is not the correct address. So you don't get that letter, and without access that letter ID, you cannot complete your account. So till that, can I share the document that I want to share with at this point?
Yeah, Shamra is running the back end. So Shamra, are you able to let Savani show their
Yeah,
screen?
she can go ahead and share.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. So let me do that here. Give me a second. Okay, so I would like to share this document with you, all of you guys. So here I share the step, like how to create the Francis account. So this is the much important place, because that if you did not pass this stage, that you cannot move forward. So please go to the Francis online landing page called francis.oregon.gov, and then you need to click log on to Francis online, and then you have to click, if you already have a Francis account, you can log in absolutely. But if you do not have, so please click sign up for a Climate online account. And then you have to click on the what you'll need page, enter the email address, and click verify your email. As soon as possible, you enter your email address, and when you click verify my email, you will need to check your email, because you will receive a verification code to your email address. And then you have to enter that verification code and select that you are not a robot. And after that, it's asking that do you have your letter ID? So if you do not have your letter ID, you have to select no. And then it's asking, do you want us to send us the letter ID into the address that we have on the file? Then you have to click yes, and then click next, and then click submit. So after that, you will receive the letter from us in the USPS mail. So please keep an eye about that letter, because that letter ID get expired. So please make sure you check your mails every single day. As soon as possible, you receive that letter, use that letter ID and complete your account. Okay, you can go back to the next slide.
And then I just wanted to see if anyone has any questions about that process. Thank you, Savani, for really going detailed line by line how to get that code. So that code is to set up your Francis account if you don't have one yet. And that's, you need to be able to have that code in your mail, snail mail, so that you can complete your profile and start your unemployment claim. So just want to make sure we didn't have any questions about that. All right, Savani, go ahead.
Okay, so this is how you should see the Francis Online Climate account when you log in. So as I say, that you can see on your top right-hand corner that's how you either sign up or either you log in. Use your information. Next slide, please. Thank you. So that's how this is. You have to go to the francisoregon.gov and sign up for online account. You have to click sign up for Climate online account. So there is two ways that you can apply for the unemployment benefit. So one is the apply for the unemployment benefit online, and another way is apply for the benefit over the phone. Even though you apply for the benefit over the phone, I will recommend everyone to create your own Francis account, because that's way it's easy for you to access your account by your own. So first, open an initial claim. So this start your claim, provide information about your income, employers for the last 2 years. So if you're planning to file the initial claim online, please make sure that you have your last 18 months work history, because the work history get populate automatically in the system. If you cannot remember that your employer details, and if you select that I did not work for this employer, so it will create a benefit issue and it will hold your benefit until it get resolved. So this will delay your process. So because of that, please make sure that you have, like, if even though if you work 1 hour and if you even earn $1, so please make sure that you have all these records with you. Then going forward, file a weekly claim for each week you wish to receive the unemployment benefits. And you will need to attest that you have been able, available, and actively seeking work. So the details of your work search will be request like a 2 job application or the employer contacts and 3 other work search activities for each week, such as updating your resume, browsing job listing sites, attending workshops or other job search related workshops, or interview practice, etc. So to claim online through the francisonline.gov, please go to the francis.oregon.gov and then click log on to Francis Online account. And then you have to enter your username and a password, and you can log into your account, or you can call the customer service at 1-877-345-3484. Plus, we have the live chat option. So when you go to the francis.oregon.gov page, you can see the owl icon in your right hand corner. So please click that one, and then you have to type request a live agent. So then the live agent will get connected with you and you can talk to the real person through the chat. So, and then also you can contact us through the send him a message. So when you log into your Francis account, that you have to go to the I want to tab, and there is an option called messages, and then you can click send a message, and then you can type a message and send us a message too. But I always recommend and pushing you guys to the live chat, because I was seeing that it is fast and like it's easy to get connected with someone. Okay, so how do you claim the week of benefits? So you will need to file a claim for the previous week, either online or via weekly claim phone line. So we will clarify you are able, available, and actively seeking work for this period. And you need to provide your work seeking activity, and work seeking activity is required, 2 direct employer contacts and 3 other efforts during the week. So when you log into your Francis Online account, that you can see that ready to file option, and you have to click file now. And when you click that, so you can file your weekly claim, and our weeks will go like a Sunday through Saturday. So as an example, like a July 20th to 26th week, that you can claim in between 27th and the 2nd. But I always recommend you guys to file your weekly claim Sunday, because then if you guys are facing for any issues, that you guys have a time to resolve with us and receive the benefit timely. So the department payday is a Wednesday, so you will receive your benefits on Wednesday. So, but if there is a holiday, or if there is a delay, I mean, if there is issues in your end or any delays, then the benefit will get delayed. Next slide, please. So there is 2 different ways that you can receive your benefit. So when you file your initial claim, that we will ask to choose you how to receive your benefit get paid. So your benefits payments will be always paid by one of this following method. The first one is the direct deposit. So you will deposit your weekly benefit amount directly into your bank or credit union checking account every week. And no fees associated with the method of payments, and a bank account information can be submitted when filling initial claim or updated at francis.oregon.gov. The second way that you can receive your benefit through the Relia card, and if you do not set up a direct deposit, you will automatically be enrolled for the payments this way, and you will be mailed a US bank debit card, and your weekly benefit amount will get loaded to the card every week. And please ensure that the mailing address on file is correct to receive the Relia card. And some fees can be associated with this method if you make out-of-network ATM withdrawals, need a replacement card, or account is inactivate for 365 days. How can you sign up for the direct deposit? So you have to go and log into your Francis account, and then you have an option called Manage My Profile. And then under that, you can see like a more option. So then under the more option, you can see Manage a Payment Channel. And then you have to click Set Up New Payment Channel. And alternatively, there is a paper form that can be completed and faxed to UI too. So you're going to need this information before you complete the direct deposit request. So you're going to need your bank routing number, account number, bank account type, and name of the account. So UI benefits are the taxable income at both the state and a federal level. So during tax season, you will receive a 1099 in the mail outlining your benefit payments. When you file and are receiving UI benefits, you have the choice to have taxes withheld from your weekly benefit payment or not. If you do not withhold taxes from your check, they will be due when you file your taxes at the end of the year. So you can choose to have 10% withheld for federal taxes and or 6% withheld for state taxes. You can withhold either, both, or none. To maintain your eligibility, there is a couple of important things that you have to do. The first thing is called the iMatch skills. So this is the Employment Department job search system. So one component of remaining eligible for benefit is to complete iMatch skills profile. You can and should utilize other resources to look for work, but this is a requirement for UI. And work source registration and the welcome process, one of the other requirements to remain eligible is registering with your local work source center. And this can be completed online or over the phone in most instances, as well as in person if you prefer. Having a complete iMatch skills profile in the first step in registering with the work source. So ID verification, effective April 20th, 2023, you are required to prove your identity with the local worksource office. A letter will be mailed to you with the deadline and the required documentations, and claimants are given 14 days to complete their job seeker registration, ORESA, and the identity verification requirement. If this is not completed, you can be denied benefit until it's completed. So this ID verification that you have options to do it like at the USPS office or at the WorkSource office, but it's a requirement. And also please make sure that there are a couple of ID verifications get created while you create the Francis account that lots of people get confusing. So that's called like a Francis IDV and the in-person ID verification. It's a complete two different things. Please make sure it's don't. Some people complete the Francis ID verification and they think, okay, I already did. Why should I have to do that again? So, but when you click, when you file your initial claim, it will automatically create the Francis IDV issue. So that one you can clear it up through by your own. Like you will receive the letter with the PIN number, or it will ask you to upload the documents, or the system will send you a quiz to complete that ID verification. But the in-person ID verification is a completely different from the Francis ID verification. Yes, Amy, go ahead.
Yeah, just a quick comment from my experience. For folks on the call today who are new to the world of unemployment insurance, the ID verification can cause significant delays in your claim being processed. So just make sure you pay attention, and when you get the resource material, when it's giving you specific guidance on how to do confirming your address and that sort of thing, it's for good reason. We just don't want you to have unnecessary delays with processing your claim.
Thank you. Next slide, please. So here are the acceptable ID documents that we do. So if you want to do the ID verification at the USPS or at the WorkSource office, so you have to make sure you take either 2 primary ID documents or 1 primary and 2 secondary documents. So these are the only documents we accept as a primary or either secondary documents. And if you do not have enough documents, that you cannot complete your ID verification. I can see there is a question in the chat. Let me read this. Give me a second. Hold on. Can you outline the step of the people who are already in France? Do I still need to verify my identity and register with this is in 2 years? And yes, please. You have to redo it. Like, I know you have a Francis account, but still, when you file your initial claim, you need to complete your Francis ID verification and the in-person ID verification, plus that you have to complete your work source registration again, because it's being like you, as I can see that you did 2 years ago. So when you do it again, yes, you have to do that again. Next slide, please.
Diana, did that answer your question? We want to make sure that if you have any follow-up, you want to unmute or just throw anything else into the chat, but just let us know if you need any follow-up on that.
What's the reason for having to verify again? I mean, I already did that last year. It's just more pain.
Yes,
and I'm having a little trouble understanding too. It's really hard for me to understand what she's saying sometimes.
Yes, good question, Dan. The reason that we will require, because the main reason that we created a couple of ID verification requirements to protect yourself from the fraud activities. Because during back in the COVID time, like we saw lots of frauds happening for people's using people's social security numbers. So we wanted to make sure that every changes that happen in your account is done by yourself. We have to make sure that nobody hack your account and nobody try to do anything using your money. So we have to make sure that it's everything going to you. You will get your benefit. That's the main reason that we required lots of ID verification. I know that sometimes that people's getting frustrated because the reason that when you're filing your initial claim and then you complete your Francis ID verification, and then right after 2 weeks that you're planning to change your mailing address, as soon as possible you update your mailing address in the system, it will stop your benefit again through the ID verification. I know that is like lots of people like getting frustrated about that. But we do that because the main reason to protect our claimants, because that we have to make sure that the claimant update their mailing address, no one else did that. That's the main reason. Hopefully I answer your question.
And I'm sorry, when you say claimant, you mean claimant, right?
Yes.
I'm sorry, it's very frustrating sometimes with the quality of the audio that's coming through.
It's claimant, yes.
It's claimant, thank you.
Okay, so the 3 A's of the unemployment benefit is, this is like very important 3 A's, one called like able to work. So you must be both physically and mentally capable of performing the type of work you are seeking. And the available for work, so you must be willing to work both full-time, part-time, be willing to accept temporary and the permanent work, and be available for work during all the days and hours customary for the type of work you are seeking. Being available also means being capable of accepting and reporting for all suitable work opportunities in your labor market. Actively seeking work means that you must do what a reasonable person would do to return to work as soon as possible. To meet this requirement, you must have 5 work searches each week two being direct employer contacts where you applied, submitted a resume, contact an employer in person or over the phone, or had an interview. And three other work seeking activities, which can include updating your resume, browsing job listing website, or attending WorkSource workshops. To avoid your common UI pitfalls, so I will explain about the waiting week credit. So when you file your initial claim, your first week will be going to be your waiting week, and then you are not receiving any benefit for that week. So that's why we recommend every people, like, please file your claim at the first week that you get laid off. As an example, let's say that you get laid off on July 31st. So the first Sunday after the July 31st will falling on August 3rd. So we will recommend you guys to file your initial claim effective August 3rd. And August 3rd to the 9th is going to be your waiting week, and you cannot receive the benefit. But when you file your weekly claim August 10th to the 16th, that is your first paid week, and you can expect your first check on 20th. So that's how it's work. So UI laws required the waiting week. That's why we have that. And this is the first eligible week that you claim benefits for, but no payment is issued for the waiting week and cannot be served unless all the eligibility requirements are meeting. So that's why we recommend anyone not to wait to file your initial claim. And the first eligible week that you file for is going to be your waiting week. And if you travel outside your regular labor market, and if you're away from your labor market for more than half of the week, you may not eligible for benefits. If this week is claimed, your claim will be reviewed for the eligibility. And your labor market is where a reasonable person in your line of work would seek work. It varies by job and depends on where the employers in your industry are located and the normal commuting distance for workers like you. Yes, I can see the message saying the layoffs were delayed until the September 15th. Okay, so if the layoff delayed until September 15th, so so that means the pay, everyone get paid till 15th. Am I correct? Yes. Okay. So if you get paid till 15th of September, so let me see the calendar. Give me 1 second. So the September 15th is going to be falling on a Monday. So that if you're going to have earnings, like more than your weekly benefit amount, that you're not going to, like, we just required you to report your earnings for just the 15th only, the one day. So if that earnings going to be fall more than your weekly benefit amount, that week is not going to count as a waiting week. So if not that, yes, you can file your initial claim on 14th. But if you think that you are earning more than $872 or like more money, like if you're getting, like, please wait till 21st to file your initial claim. Okay, and the third requirement is the availability. So being available for work means you should be able to start work with an employer if they ask you to start working for them immediately. So potential eligible issue include but aren't limited to no child care, lack of transportation, and you are sick for more than half of the week or hospitalized, you are attending school, you started your own business, and you can only work specific shifts, days, hours. Any availability issues will be reviewing and may impact your eligibility for UI benefits. Again, when do we file the initial claim? If the last day was Monday the 15th. So, Jill, can you please verify, like, are they getting paid for the 15th, as I know, right? Am I correct?
So what we were told was that ODOT just delayed the layoffs by 45 days, and there's
Uh-huh.
some kind of legislative session happening. So I think in theory, if these
Mhm.
layoffs go through, then people are working until the 15th.
Okay, so that means that if they're officially working till 15th, that they are eligible to get paid for the 15th, right? Am I correct?
That is how we understood it, yes.
Yeah, so then like that if that that people has to do their own calculation. I know they get paid monthly, but like kind of like we have to divide it to the 30 days and we have to see like per day earnings going to be how much. So if that per day earnings is more than the weekly benefit amount, that you should not file your initial claim on 15th and wait for that. Wait until the next week Sunday. That means until September 21st. Because the reason, if you file the claim 15th and if you reported earnings like more than your weekly benefit amount, the system will require you to restart your claim again on the next week. So most of the people like getting like issues with that and they doesn't know what to do. So then like you guys have to contact us to do that.
So in theory, it would probably make sense for people to get their Francis profiles made sooner than later, right? Get all that going. And then if the layoffs do take place, um, wait for the wait for the calendar week to end. So the week of the 15th, let that week pass, and then the next Sunday would be when you would file your first weekly claim because then there's no work, they've been separated, and that is going to qualify as a waiting week. And we also want to mention too, we don't know if anyone's getting severance or if your PTO is being paid out in a lump sum. But Savani, do you want to speak to if workers need to claim severance on a weekly
Yes.
filing, if they
So
need to claim a PTO payout, that kind of stuff?
the severance pay is not a reportable income, so you don't need to report your severance pay. But your PTO vacation pay is going to be calculated as your earnings, so you need to report it as an earning. And yes, Dan, I know that we have like lots of calls every day, so it makes that it doesn't mean that we never going to answer the calls, but we are trying our best to serve all the peoples. But that's what I say, that if you ever had a hard time to contact us over the phone, please go to the live chat. Live chat is faster than the phones I was seeing. So you just need to request the live agent. Just click the owl button and type live agent and send it. Then the live agent will get connected. Okay.
Hey, Diana, we know you're frustrated. We're doing our best to just give the information right now. That's what we're here to do. We're trying to give you all the tips and tricks to get through, and we're here to answer all the questions. So I just want to make sure that you understand that we're here to support. We are doing our best to just strip away any barriers to help make the claim process as smooth as possible. We've been told the live chat, it's usually a 20 to 30-minute wait before you get connected to an agent. So you go in, you hit the little owl, live chat, and then 20 to 30 minutes later, you should have a rep who can answer questions and help navigate your claim. So we strongly encourage people to use that or to send a message through their profile. Once you're in your Francis, you can view messages, send messages, upload documents. So those are going to be much quicker ways to get a hold of someone and get the help that you need. Sorry, Savani, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm willing to help you if you have any recent questions, Diane, that after the presentation, like I can help you with that. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, so the other important information about the unemployment informations is going to be unemployment claims generally provide the maximum of 26 weeks of benefits. That's 6 months close to, and you approved unemployment claim is active, open for 52 weeks, but the benefit provide only for 26 weeks out of that 52 weeks. That means like your claim will be valid for 1 year, but the benefit is provide only for 6 months. And if you run out the benefit, that you cannot file a new claim until your current claim get expired. If you work part-time or temporary jobs while receiving unemployment benefit, you still can file your unemployment insurance on those weeks you worked and could potentially receive a partial weekly benefits that week depending on your earnings that week. Like as an example that like if you work a part-time job and if you earn less than your weekly benefit amount, there is a chance that you're still eligible for some amount of benefits. But when you file your weekly claim, you have to make sure that you report your earnings. So no need to close your claim when you start working again. Just simply stop making your weekly claims. And if you don't make a weekly claim for your UI benefits 1 week, but then file a weekly claim again for a later week, you may need to restart your claim, which usually can be done through the online claim system. But sometimes needs to be done by calling to UI hotline. Next slide, please. Thank you. So I would like to introduce some special unemployment programs that some people can be eligible. So one is called the Self-Employment Assistant Program. So this program allows people who want to start their own business to receive unemployment benefits while they do so and waives the claimant's work search requirements. And the type of work you do is factor if you like to find a job quickly in your current line of work, and generally you won't be approved for a self-employment. The next program is the training unemployment insurance called TUI. So this program allows those who wants to return to school for an approved training to do so and continue to receive benefits while they attend school, and it waives the work search requirement. And claimants in this program may eligible for temporary extensions for benefits. For both these programs, you must apply and be approved before you can participate. Until approved, claimants must continue to follow regular UI rules and fulfill work search requirements. So for more information about on either program or to apply, please call the special program unit at 1-800-436-6191.
All right. Thank you, Savani, for all of that information. Josh Hall, are you available? I had a quick question for you. I wanted to
Yeah, go for it.
flag, hi, I wanted to flag that this is a group of union workers, a lot of them. And I just wanted to confirm they're in an open union. Is that correct?
Yes, not a dispatch union.
Okay, great. So just one more little tip and for everyone, there will be a question on your weekly claim asking if you, I don't know the exact wording, but it's asking basically if you are dispatched daily by your union to go to work. So basically that's a closed union like the electricians, the carpenters, the plumbers, they all go to their hall daily and get sent out. So we want to make sure that question doesn't trip you guys up. You want to make sure that you do not mark that you are in a closed union. You guys are in an open union. You have one employer that you report to, and you are allowed to seek work elsewhere. So we just like to flag that for the union folks so it doesn't trip up your claim. Are there any questions for Savani? I don't have any in the chat at the moment, but Savani will be on the whole time. So if you think of something, you can definitely message directly, or you can wait till the end and we'll do a Q&A at the end as well. So thank you so much. And let's bring up Maureen to talk about WorkSource and the different resources available through WorkSource and also maintaining some criteria to stay eligible for unemployment.
Hi, everyone. I'm Maureen. I work with WorkSource. I'm based out of the Mid-Valley, but I'll be providing general assistance today about what we do at WorkSource. If you want to go ahead and click next. Oh,
These are the wrong slides.
I was gonna say, I don't think those are the ones I'm looking for.
Do you want to screen share, Maureen? And we will
Yes.
give you presenter. We've had a few different PowerPoints come through, so we must have grabbed the wrong one. Sorry about that.
I grabbed the only one that was there, so we apologize. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no
Give me a
worries.
moment here.
Thank you, Maureen.
Can you see it?
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. It's all right. It's Zoom, you know, gotta go with the flow of technology sometimes. So yeah, so WorkSource Oregon, we're really here to help people find employment. And whether that's you know, you want to keep doing something similar to what you've been doing, or you're ready for something new, or you're not sure and you want some help to help figure it out, that's really what we're here. We're just supporting you to make sure you know what you need to do for unemployment if you choose to file a claim, but also to just be a general support system if you're looking for work. So we'll be covering a whole bunch of different topics today. If you can go ahead and go to the next slide.
It's your slideshow.
Me. That's right. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's all good.
I was like,
okay.
I can't. I'm so sorry.
You're good. You're good. It's just me. Okay, so WorkSource centers, we offer walk-in service, so you can just drop into the closest center to you. I put the website there, the worksourceoregon.org website that you can go to. There's a contact page on there to see where your closest center is. If a virtual appointment is best for you, you can also do so by scheduling an appointment online at that website. Certain centers, I believe, do take in-person appointments too, but a lot of them just do a drop-in. So just come in during business hours for that WorkSource center and then just check in with the front desk. We do have computers on site, so if you have like bad internet or you just don't have a computer or whatever you need to do, we have computers you can use. We have fax machines, copy machines, and I believe all the centers have unemployment phones as well if you needed to have access to that. I will mention it doesn't give any priority to reach unemployment, but we just give you access to use a phone specifically for trying to call unemployment. Here's a little bit of a what we'll talk about today. I'll go over exploratory services and what that means, career services, training, and business services. And then Teal, if you don't mind, I can't see the chat, so if something pops up, will you let me know? Perfect. So exploratory services, that's essentially your first visit. So when you come in, you know, after you file your claim or any time really, please know that our services are accessible to anyone, regardless of if you filed a claim, of the status of your claim. We're just really open to anyone who's looking for work. But the first thing we're going to ask you to do when you visit the WorkSource Center is to complete an iMatch skills registration. And there's 2 steps to that. I know the link was dropped in the chat. The first step asks a lot of questions, which can feel a little much sometimes, but please know that these questions are meant to help us identify what services you might be eligible for. So that's why we ask them, because we want to make sure that we can talk to you about different programs that are going to be tailored to you based on how you answer these questions. once you have your profile completed, those two online steps, so the first one, some personal info. The second one is just information in general about your job search criteria, like what type of wage you're looking for, what areas are you willing to travel to for work, what type of work are you seeking. That's your online registration. Then you'll come in to a WorkSource Center or schedule a virtual appointment to do a one-on-one conversation with a WorkSource staff. And really during that time, if you filed for unemployment, we will give you the guidance of what you need to do for unemployment. We might review your job search that you've already done, for example, and try to answer general questions, give you some guidance so you feel supported on what to do next in regards to doing your job search. And then we will show you different ways that you can do job search during that first visit. If you have a resume, you want to bring that, for example, or just want some quick little tips about interviewing, those are the things that we can integrate into the conversation. And then also providing referrals to various resources. So sometimes people come in and they need things like resources for things other than work-related resources. Maybe you're needing some help to pay a bill or something like that. And whatever you share with us, we'll do our best to provide some local referrals to help you get connected. So that first conversation can cover a lot. So based on any priorities like unemployment, anything else that you have, we'll do our best to answer. And the biggest thing is our doors are going to be open to you. So if you come in during that first conversation, you got it done and you still have a lot of questions and you would like to talk again with someone, you can come in as often as you want to WorkSource Center to get that conversation so we can help you get things clarified. So that brings me to career services. So, some people just come in for meeting that unemployment requirement and then they just go on their own from there to do their job search. And then other people just want a little bit more assistance. And, we have different programs for that. And that's kind of like the bucket of career services. So maybe it's, coming up with a plan with you to how to organize your job search, or if you're looking for a specific type of job and you're not really finding that, or it's really overwhelming because job search is really overwhelming, we can help you figure out what a next step might be. After that initial conversation, it also gives you access to other services within WorkSource Oregon. So, for example, we have a Work Ready program. I believe I have a slide a little later here that's going to cover it as well, but that's a program that's totally optional to you, but we essentially as WorkSource staff verify that you have the tools set up to be successful with your job search, whether that's, do you have a clear career objective? Do you have a good resume to meet that objective? Do you feel confident about your interviewing skills? Kind of like a validation of all the things that come with job search to make sure that you are going to be able to find the employment that you're looking for. We have access to the NCRC. It's a great tool, the National Career Readiness Certificate. I'm not sure if anyone in this group, for example, would like to go into apprenticeship, but I know, for example, if someone's interested in becoming an electrician, they request this certificate, and WorkSource offers it for free. And then we have other services like career assessments. So sometimes someone might come in and really not sure what they want to do next, and they need a little bit of guidance. And so we have different tools that we can provide to help that person figure out some potential careers to explore. We also have services, so you can come in and just do a walk-in, appointment with an available staff. Certain people want really more that coaching, if they're maybe looking for some sort of retraining, or they really want to have some accountability to stay on track with their job search, for example, or if someone uh, receives food stamps, they're automatically, or I shouldn't say automatically, I'm sorry, but they may be eligible for the STEP program. A lot of people qualify for that. And the STEP program is really a one-on-one assistance, again, to help people with getting a job, but with an accountability behind it, where they work one-on-one with a job coach. And then we have workshops as well. Every center might be a little bit different on that. There's some local workshops. And so you might want to check in with your local center, because I know this is more of a statewide presentation. But typically workshops around interviewing. I know we have some job clubs around, networking, things like that. So if you're interested in what that might look like, contact your local center. And that's something you can ask as well when you go in on that first conversation for the welcome process. You will receive from that local center information about any local workshops available. But one thing that we have as well is LinkedIn Learning. So WorkSource Oregon works with LinkedIn to provide access to job seekers to this really cool resource where you're going to have a ton of different online trainings that you can access and do on your own. So if you are interested in LinkedIn Learning, you can just mention it to the WorkSource person you're talking with, and then they can look at giving you access. We also offer training opportunities, and this is for people who participate in our career services. So usually training would be like if you work one-on-one with a coach, a job coach, either through the STEP program or one of our partners, and you're looking at some retraining, we would potentially be able to assist you with that. With the cost of training. So that's why we have on this slide vocational scholarships. So that's something that you just want to mention. Again, just everything's really depending on your situation. So when you come in, just share with the staff person what your goals are so we can appropriately make a referral for that next step to help you look at retraining and what avenues might be best for you. Same for on-the-job training. There's some opportunities out there that offer that. And the note there that you must be enrolled is really the iMatch Skills registration, to have a complete registration to gain access to all of these services and specifically training. And then business services, that's kind of my world in the WorkSource office. I serve employers. But you may notice that when you do some job search on iMatch Skills or the WorkSource Oregon website, or even sometimes on other websites, because our team does posts on other websites, it might redirect you to contact WorkSource for a particular job. And that's because we serve both job seekers and employers, and we partner with employers to help them on recruitments. So we screen candidates and then send candidates forward for next steps. So if you ever encounter a job that says, okay, I can't actually access the contact information for this employer, it doesn't tell me who the employer is, I need to contact WorkSource, that's what that is. It's just redirecting you because we are helping that employer. But many jobs on our website are going to be self-referral. So it's just a job board, just like any other, where employers post, and then you can contact them directly by their preferred method. Just like you're going to have a job seeker profile, employers will have their own employer profile. So you can do a job match tool based on your profile as well. There's a little tool in iMatch Skills that our staff will show you based on how you build your profile and your preferences. It can show you jobs that you might be interested in, for example. The business team also organizes job fairs, events. Like I know in the Mid-Valley right now, we had some events about free training opportunities, apprenticeship workshop, job fairs about different employers who are coming in and just wanting to connect with potential candidates. So just again, depends on which center you're at. You will be able to see what their events are. And then I have also the Work Ready Employer Connection. So in that Work Ready program that I mentioned earlier, where our staff is going to help you verify that you're on track for job search, that you have the tools necessary to be successful, the business team has access to people's profiles who participates in those programs. And if we have a connection with an employer that we believe could be a good fit for you, we might reach out and say, hey, I see you're work ready participant. I might have an employer connection with you and just kind of have a conversation. So you may receive sometimes some calls from a business team member. And that's usually what it is, because our role is trying to find candidates that are going to match what the employer is looking for. So we might reach out to someone that we see that could be a potential fit for our employer. And I think that's it. Here's a QR code that should take you to our website. And then we are also on LinkedIn. So if you want to go on LinkedIn, you can see our LinkedIn page for WorkSource Oregon, which has a lot of really great information. You will be able to see any kind of events that we might be talking about that are coming up, or just some tips or some job listings. So if you like LinkedIn, follow us. But if not, that QR code should take you to our WorkSource Oregon website, where you can view all of our services and find the contact information for your local center.
Thank you so much, Maureen. That was a ton of good information. WorkSource is available in so many capacities, so it's really about just leaning in and telling them what you're interested in, having those conversations. You have to do it for your unemployment claim anyway. So when you're there, like Maureen said, really kind of dig in and ask the questions, let them know what you're interested in. A lot of times skill sets are transferable also. So you might think, oh, I've been doing the same thing for 20 years, but those skill sets could be a great fit in several other job opportunities. And that's really what the WorkSource team does. They help you kind of navigate that. So thank you for that presentation, Maureen. It was great. Israel, are you ready to discuss healthcare options available? And Israel, I want to preface with we don't know the details around when the healthcare is ending or what that looks like. We just know the employment was kept on like for 45 more days, so into September.
Yep, I can work with that. Okay, so my name is Israel Strada. I'm with a state agency called the Oregon Health Insurance Marketplace, with our goal being to assist Oregonians in obtaining coverage, primarily through the marketplace, but we are under the Oregon Health Authority, so we talk about some of the other programs that are available as well. So on this opening slide, and I'll let you know, I don't know for everyone else, but for me, I'm seeing it kind of like in a presenter view. So I don't know if everybody else is seeing that presenter view as well. Oh, and now I'm not seeing anything.
My apologies. I think when we go back and forth on sharing, it messes things up. And
That's what I was about to say. We just have to reload it.
Yeah,
Yep.
no problem.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing and start again. My apologies. Let's see if we can get this. Oh, nothing wants to come up. Okay, let's try. There we go. Hey, there. Are we good?
Yeah, thank you,
Looks good now.
Shanna.
So on the slide here, you have the different programs that are available, the different ways you can obtain coverage. And as we go through this presentation, I'm going to talk to you about each of these ones that's going to be available, give you some general guidelines with some important things to remember. Ordinarily, I'd give you like specific dates. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the time frames because it's going to be changed based off of what actually ends up happening with you guys. So let's go to the next slide. So the first thing that's typically offered to you upon separation is something called COBRA. You see the fancy acronym up here, Consolidated Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act. What this is, a continuation of your existing benefits that you had with your employer. So it's the same coverage, same cost for your services, same provider networks that you're going to. The biggest difference between your COBRA coverage and your regular coverage is that when you switch over to COBRA coverage, the employer typically does not contribute at all towards it. And without that employer contribution, it can be pretty spendy. So we're advising you guys of it because it is an option for you. If you decide to enroll in it, you will be responsible for the full amount of the premium without any employer support, plus a 2.5% administrative fee. And then you can stay on it for either 18 or 36 months, depending on your circumstances. When you receive the paperwork for us, it should tell you how long you have. And then something to keep in mind is that uh, enrolling in a Cobra, if you just suddenly decide, you know what, this is too expensive for me, I want to try something else, your options may be limited for you. So really make sure you get all the information you need before you make this enrollment. Now, we'll talk to you about some of these deadlines. So let's go next slide. Oops, actually, so before we go back let's go back one more, sorry. I wasn't sure if this information was on there. So the key thing to remember about Cobra, it's offered to you upon separation, whenever that ends up actually being, if hopefully doesn't come to pass. But if it does, you'll have 60 days from your last day of regular employer coverage to decide whether you want to enroll into the Cobra coverage. So you'll be given a packet upon separation that will have the paperwork. You do have to opt into it because there's going to be that fee associated with it per month. But 60 days from your last day of employer coverage to decide whether you want to enroll into it. So, let's say if your last day of employer coverage is the end of September, you have 60 days from the end of September. So whatever that last day of coverage is, just think 60 days from then. If at any time you decide during that period you want the COBRA coverage, you return your paperwork, the COBRA coverage is always going to be retroactive back to your last day of regular employer coverage. So there's never a gap between when this employer coverage ended and the COBRA coverage begins. So the key thing to remember, 60 days from your last day of employer coverage, whenever that turns out to be, is how long you have to decide whether you want to enroll into the COBRA coverage. If you miss that window, you will not be able to enroll into COBRA. All right, now we can continue to the next slide. Other options available for you is private health insurance. There's two different ways that you can obtain that. You can just go directly to the insurance company. So Providence, Moda, hey, I want coverage. How much is it going to be? All right, we'll get that payment to you. Here, we'll get our paperwork started. You can enroll directly to the insurance company. If you do that, there's no option for financial assistance. Whatever plan that you choose will affect what you're paying, where you're allowed to go. Uh, in order to enroll into a private coverage, you either have to be within an open enrollment period, which is typically from November 1st through January 15th, or have a qualifying life event like losing your employer coverage. If you were to lose your employer coverage, you would have up to 60 days from your last day of employer coverage to decide whether you want to do private coverage, whether it's through directly from the insurance company or through the marketplace. So it does share that same 60-day window that your COBRA coverage does. One big difference though is whether you go directly to the company or through the marketplace, when you make your plan selection, when you decide, yes, I want to do this, here's what I want, will affect when your coverage begins. So it's not like COBRA where it's automatically retroactive. The sooner you take action, the sooner your coverage will begin. And if you can take action before the current coverage ends, so let's say they tell you your last date of employer coverage is going to be September 30th. If you do this paperwork, get your paperwork into them before September 30th, then there will not be a gap in coverage. But after that period, you have up to 60 days whenever you enroll will affect when your coverage begins. Typically, it's the first of the following month. So if I enroll on October 15th, it's going to be November 1st. If I enroll on October 25th, it's November 1st. If I enroll on November 3rd, it's December 1st. So the earlier you do the paperwork, the earlier you enroll, the earlier this coverage will begin. If you can get your paperwork in before the current coverage ends, then you can avoid a gap in coverage. And a difference between just going through the insurance company. Oh, that's fine. You can go to the next slide.
Okay.
Because this is the difference between a private insurance and going through the marketplace. Is the marketplace, which is technically who I represent. There is the option for financial assistance, and it comes in two forms. One is a premium tax credit. So that's just a fancy way of saying they help you pay your monthly bill. And if you enroll into the marketplace, any plan that you enroll into the marketplace, you can apply any financial assistance that you qualify for tax credits to any plan on the marketplace. So it doesn't matter what level plan. If you qualify for tax credits, you can apply it towards that plan. The second benefit is something called a cost sharing reduction. And what that does is even when you have health insurance, you still typically have to make a payment when you go to the doctor or when you use your health insurance. So I have to pay when I pick up my prescription, or I have to pay my copay when I go see my doctor. What a cost sharing reduction does is it lowers how much you pay when you actually use your insurance. So, for example, if I was paying $20 for an office visit and you have the exact same plan as me, but you qualified for those cost sharing reductions, that same office visit might only cost you $5. If I'm paying 15 prescription and you qualify for the cost sharing reductions on that same plan, you might pay only $3. It's a pretty significant reduction. For that one, you do have to choose what's called a silver level plan. That's something we can help you with if you decide to go that route. Um, but it is a form of financial assistance that's only available through the marketplace. So the marketplace help you buy the coverage, and if your income's in the right bracket, we will help you pay when you use your coverage. So just something to keep in mind. Remember that with the marketplace, you do have that 60-day window. So whatever your last day of coverage is, 60 days from that day, the earlier you take action, the earlier your coverage will begin. So please keep that in mind. And it does share that same 60-day window as Cobra. Typically, you're going to go one or the other on those if you decide to go with that coverage. So just make sure you weigh your options so you pick the right plan. Otherwise, you'll have to wait till the next open enrollment. Let's go next one. Or next slide. Next option we're going to talk about is the Oregon Health Plan. It's the state version of Medicaid. Nice things about the Oregon Health Plan is if you qualify, no monthly cost, no cost for covered services. The kicker is that in order to qualify for the Oregon Health Plan, you do have to fall within certain income guidelines. So your income has to be below a certain level in order to qualify. Um, but if you qualify, you pay nothing for that coverage, and you don't pay when you utilize those services. Now, that having been said, the income guidelines to qualify for the base Oregon Health Plan are pretty low. In order to qualify, you have to be about 138% of the federal poverty level. So for a single individual, that's roughly about 1,700 a month. So even on unemployment, many of you will make too much for the Oregon Health Plan. But what we do like to advise is there is expanded eligibility for children, so anyone under the age of 19 to qualify for OHP. The income guidelines for children to get OHP is much higher for let's say you're a family of four. Any children in the household will be covered under the Oregon Health Plan if your income is under $7,900 for the month. So that one, it's pretty easy to qualify for if you're on unemployment. Uh, More than likely, depending on your household situation, your family, your children will be able to qualify. And just think of it this way: if you can get your kids covered under OHP, it doesn't cost you anything for that coverage. You got that peace of mind knowing that they have that coverage, and the money you're saving by not having to pay for them, you can put towards either your coverage, your spouse's coverage, or put towards other bills. So it is something to keep in mind. Uh, there are also new programs available under the Oregon Health Plan umbrella that do have some higher qualifications. We'll talk about those in a moment. Another nice thing about the Oregon Health Plan, unlike Cobra, unlike the marketplace where you have certain windows where you have to take action, because OHP is a need-based program, you can apply at any time. And if you qualify, you get it regardless of the time of the year. So OHP, income-based, apply at any time, but if you qualify, no cost for services, no cost to have the coverage, and there is that expanded eligibility for children. Let's go next slide. So I mentioned just a moment ago that there are some new programs under the Oregon Health Plan umbrella that have some higher income limits for that program. One of them is called the Bridge program that we're talking about here. So you can make more than you would under OHP to qualify for this program. For a single individual, in order to qualify for this, you'd have to be making roughly under 2,400 a month. So for some of you, unemployment, or if unemployment becomes your main source of income, that might enable you to qualify for this. Other than that, it's kind of a hybrid between OHP and the marketplace. Has that higher income limits similar to what would be available on the marketplace. But just like OHP, there's no monthly cost, no cost for services. Income is what determines whether you qualify for that program, and you can enroll any time of the year, just like OHP. You can apply and enroll, and if you qualify, you will get it. However, with the Bridge program specifically, the earlier you do your application, the earlier your coverage can begin. So it does differ a little bit on the OHP side. The OHP, uh, if you're approved, your coverage is backdated back to the date you did your application. With the Bridge program, it's dependent on when they process the application, when you are approved. They will give you coverage at a future date, typically the first of the following month, similar to what the marketplace would do. Let's go next slide. Okay, so we're in a webinar here, so I can't really tell how old anyone is in this chat, but if you are 65 and older or are approaching the age of 65, another option available for you is Medicare. But Medicare is a federal program for people that are 65 and older or who have been on disability for 24 consecutive months. The main thing I like to communicate about Medicare is it's very complicated because it doesn't function like anything else. It doesn't function like your private coverage, doesn't function like the marketplace, doesn't function like OHP. It's broken down to all these different parts. You got your Part A, which is if you're hospitalized. Part B is in boy, that's your doctor visits, your medical equipment. There is no prescription coverage included in Medicare. If you want that, that's a service that you can either buy as a standalone service called a Medicare Part D plan, a prescription plan, or you can bundle all three of those services together in what's called a Medicare Advantage plan, where a private company handles your Medicare. Or you can choose to go with just your original Medicare and a service called a supplement or a Medigap policy, where it's an extra insurance you pay on top of your Medicare that helps you pay your out-of-pocket cost. That's a lot of information to know. They all function very differently. I worked for a program where we did Medicare accounts, and I worked for that program for 2 years. At the end of the 2 years, I still had questions that would come up that I couldn't answer without talking to one of my senior reps here. So what I want you to know about Medicare is if you need that help, please, there are places where you can get that help because we don't want you to make a mistake because when it comes to Medicare, if you do not enroll when you're supposed to, you put it off for whatever reason, and then you choose to enroll later. If you did not have a valid reason, according to Medicare, for delaying that enrollment, you could pay a financial penalty for the rest of your life. So I want to help you avoid that if at all possible. If you are at that age where you are Medicare eligible, but you put it off because you still had employer coverage, losing that employer coverage is one of those approved reasons to allow you to enroll in the Medicare without that penalty. But if you need help with this, there are some ways to get help. So if we go to the next slide. So first of all, there is an option to get financial assistance to help you pay for your Medicare. There are things called the Medicare Savings Program, where it has income limits similar to the Oregon Health Plan. Uh, if you qualify for that, you can potentially get uh, your Medicare premium paid for, potentially your out-of-pocket costs paid for. It's all going to depend on how low your income is. It's a little bit of a sliding scale. The lower you are on the income scale, the more help you're going to get through those Medicare savings programs. In addition to that, if you want prescription coverage, there's an option to get help with that prescription coverage called the Limited Income Subsidy, LIS, sometimes referred to as extra help. You can make up to 150% of the federal poverty level in order to qualify for that. And what it will do is it will help you pay for your prescription coverage and lower the amount that you pay when you use your prescription coverage. If you're interested in this, that number at the bottom is where you can call to get help with the actual application process, and that's available statewide. For more general help regarding Medicare, uh, did we skip a slide there? Thought there was a Sheba slide in there.
There should be. I think sometimes it gets switched with this one. There it is.
Okay, yeah. So we'll go this before we go to that other one. Sheba is that. Remember, I mentioned I worked for a state agency that did Medicare counseling. Well, that's the Sheba unit. They are state agency, so they are just a resource for consumers to get help with Medicare, and they will help you with every aspect of it. I'm new to Medicare. How do I enroll? I've been on Medicare. It's time for me to re-enroll every year because you have to re-enroll every year and make your plan selections. Can you help me with that? I need help picking out one of these plans, or can you give me advice on what to do when I'm doing this? The Oregon Sheba unit can help you with that. And as a state agency, that help that they're going to give you is impartial. They're not going to push you towards a particular company or particular type of coverage, which is good because I'm not sure if you've ever seen it, but all day long, there'll be commercials like, "Hey, get help with your Medicare. If you enroll with us, we'll pay for this or we'll do that." Those are all companies trying to sell you something, specifically their product. And depending on how they're licensed, they may have different rules on how they can, on what they're are required to tell their clients, or the people that enroll with them. So if you want that impartial help, Sheba is available for that, and they can also help you find resources. Like there's no dental coverage included in almost any Medicare plan. So if you need help accessing dental benefits, Sheba will maintain a list of like dental vans that work in particular areas, and we'll try and hook you up with some of those resources as they become available. And before we go any further, just want to advise you, I'm talking about Sheba, I'm talking about Medicare here. The information that I'm giving you specifically about this health coverage, the only thing that's specific to you as potential dislocated workers is the COBRA coverage. Everything else, the marketplace, the Oregon Health Plan, Medicare, and the Sheba assistance is available to any Oregonian. So even if it's not relevant to you, maybe one of your kids needs, one of your kids, 27 years old, on their own, they need the coverage. You want to put them in touch with OHP so they can get that assistance. Free to do that. Your parent or grandparent needs help with their Medicare, put them in touch with Sheba. So how do you get a hold of these people? Now let's go to that other slide. So first of all, you can always start with our website. And on here, that first link you see, OregonHealthcare.gov window shopping. You can go to our website. You can enter some basic information about your household, how many people are in it, what are their ages, a general estimate of your income, and it'll give you an estimate as to what you're going to qualify for. So these people qualify for OHP. Would you like to do an OHP application? Click here to do the application. These people qualify for the marketplace with this much financial assistance. Would you like to do an application? Would you like to browse plans? It will have links for you to do that. So it will give you an idea of what you qualify for and then give you options to go where you need to go in order to take that next step. And if you want help with that next step, so you've never done one of these applications before, you're a little confused about it or worried about making a mistake on it, we have assisters throughout the state of Oregon that can help you face to face with this application, whether it's the OHP application, the marketplace application. There are Sheba offices across the state if somebody wants to talk face to face. You can find those by using that link at the bottom, that Get Help link. You just enter in your zip code and what it is you're looking for. I want help with OHP. It will show you everyone in your local area that helps with the Oregon Health Plan application. I want help with the marketplace. Enter your zip code, select marketplace. It'll show you everyone in your local area that helps with the marketplace. So that help is available. You can always call us. But if you want that face-to-face assistance, we do have that face-to-face assistance all across the state of Oregon. We're more than happy to help you out with that. And remember, the help that we offer is going to be free and impartial because we are state employees. I believe that's our last slide for the healthcare portion. Yep. Other than that, that last slide had our direct contact information. So if you don't know where to start, you can always give us a call and we will help you as much as we can, and then we'll direct you wherever you need to go.
Thank you, Israel. Yeah, Israel's and his team are awesome. So definitely they'll take as much time with you on the phone as you need. They will answer the phone. Um, when you call, there won't be a long hold. And because everyone's healthcare situation is unique, whether you have people in your family, maybe you have an upcoming surgery, a medication you must have, whatever the situation and criteria, that's what they do is they help navigate and get you into the best coverage for your situation. So please reach out to them. That's what they're there for. So thank you so much, Israel, for taking a really complicated subject matter and really breaking it down for us to understand. So that was great. I didn't have any questions come through in the chat and I didn't have any hands raised. So I think we will move on to Trade Act. Lisette, are you ready?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi.
Hello. Oh, hello everyone. I'm Lisette Rosas. I'm one of the Trade Act navigators for the program, and I just want to share with you what we do and how we can help you. So the Oregon Trade Act program is a federal program, and it's designed to help laid off workers who lost their jobs due to foreign trade competition. What does this mean? That it was not their fault. It was literally anything that could happen literally with foreign competition, or probably the work or the place that you were working went overseas and it was not your fault. So how we can help these people is that we help them obtain the resource necessary to become suitably employed. That means we can help you with work search, career exploration. Those are some of the benefits, and also you can potentially qualify for any type of training. What does this mean? It could be since the GED, any certification, any license, trade that can potentially support you with that. And what it says right here, so this may include formal or work-based retraining. So these are really, really cool opportunities, that you can have on hand. And the way that we work is, for example, if we hear from someone, you come into the workforce office and you say like, hey, you know what? Me and my friend or other two, three, four friends are getting laid off from this place. What Trade Act does is that we do a research about the reason that why this laid off is happening. Once we know, we file a petition for these group of affected workers and we send this petition to the Department of Labor. The Department of Labor, their job is to do the research. Okay, is this trade related or is it not? If it is, the petition is approved. And when this petition is approved, is when we contact, that's the moment that we contact all these people from the list, And I was like, hey, this is Lisette. I'm with Oregon Trade Act, and these are the potential benefits that you can qualify for. We know, Trade Act knows that this layoff is not trade related, but we want to connect with you. We just want to contact you just in case you worked before or a previous employment that you had, you were laid off. For example, you say that, oh, I've been working on this place for the past 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 plus years. Okay, but we already have petitions that have been approved since the 2000s, We have 2000, 2001, all the way to 2022. We have petitions approved. So if you recall or you remember, like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I remember working an X company back in 2003, I'm sorry. And yeah, I got laid off for a couple of months and I went back to work. It doesn't hurt to ask, it doesn't hurt just to go into our system and look you up. And maybe you do have Trade Act benefits on your name, So I'm gonna drop our phone number. If you just want to take a time just to remember it, it's all right. And just calling, like, hey, I just heard about Trade Act. I just want to make sure that maybe I am under any of those lists back from the 2000s, and we can look you up for sure. And we can go to the next slide, please. If you don't want to call, it's totally fine. You can also go to Google and you can just Google Oregon Trade Act and just go to search TAA cases and probably Google all the places that you worked on, like, okay, this, and this one, and you just enter the company name and you're going to click on get TAA information and it's going to let you know if it's a Trade Act petition approved or if it's not. So you can also use that resource. We also like to encourage people just to Google us, because it's also really good information about, we also have like testimonies of people that have been working with us or worked, and it's like, yeah, it's life-changing. I got a bachelor's through the program. I got this, and that. So it's good to know. It's good to know also to have these resources. If you also know someone that went through this a couple of years ago, we're still doing researches in our side, from any layoffs that it's happening all around the state. So anything we'll get your information, your contact information. We always ask to get your number, address, or email, because if it's approved or we have any petitions approved, we always get in touch with you. We will call you, and if you don't answer, we'll email you. So basically that's what is the program about. And if anybody has a question, I'll be happy to answer it. And I'm also going to drop the Trade Act hotline number. So if anyone wants to call later on the day or during the week, I will be happy to connect with you. Thank you, Teal.
Thank you so much for that information. And I think at this point now, if anybody has any questions for any presenters, now is the time. And otherwise, we're going to open breakout rooms. So if you want additional information about WorkSource in your local county, region, town, area, we're going to have 4 different breakout rooms with the 4 different regions here. So you can jump into that. Sharma, if you want to put them up, people can click on the breakout room link when it comes up, and the presenters that are going to those rooms will jump in, and we should be good to go. I'm not seeing any hands. Oh, no, I'm not seeing any hands raised, and I don't have anything in the chat. So I think we're good on questions. So I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. I'm just looking through everyone real quick. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I don't see any. So thank you, presenters, for all that great information. And Shamra, just let us know when you're ready for breakout rooms.